Hello and welcome to HW News. There are a lot of questions being raised since the standoff between Indian and Chinese soldiers in Ladakh. There were reports that Chinese soldiers have intruded in the Finger area and even built bunkers there. Chinese troops have moved to Galawan region as well, and all these developments have led to many questions, including whether the situation is going to escalate and is there a possibility of a war. To make sense of the developing situation along the line of actual control, we are joined by BJP NEC and Strategic Affairs expert Mr. Seshadri Chari. So welcome to HW News. First of all, let me ask my first question. The Chinese troops have intruded the Galawan region, as I said. There is Chinese presence along the Pangong Sol Lake as well. Close to 2,500 Chinese soldiers are reportedly present in the area, and India is planning to deploy a similar number of soldiers in this region. On top of it, a statement from Chinese President Xi Jinping asks the troops to be battle ready. Now the question is the situation going to escalate or has it escalated already between the two countries?
No, I don't think the situation has escalated. It has not yet come to the point of escalation. And this is not the first time that there is a build-up in the border as far as China is concerned. China has always been present in those areas, and there is an ongoing activity from the Chinese side. As far as road building is concerned, and China is also very aggressively positioning in that area because that is the area that they require the most, importantly, as an entry point for their China-Pakistan economic corridor. Also, we should not forget that this is the Tibetan plateau which links China with Bhutan and India.
The area is so important for China as well as India.
Correct, of course. It is very important from the point of view of a buffer, because we should not forget that the area which we are talking about is actually originally Tibet. So in 1959, China completed the control over Tibet. Around 1950, they started their strategy of encroaching into Tibet, and the temporal and political head of Tibet at the time was His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Today, after all these years, Dalai Lama is only a religious leader. He has given up his temporal power. So he is no longer the ruler of Tibet. But that time, Dalai Lama was also the political head of Tibet. So in 1952-53, he had to fled Tibet. And then 1959, China completed their control over Tibet. 1960, India protested. Of course, 59, 60, 61, they protested, and 62 happened between India and China. Since then, the area has been a perennial flashpoint.
Sir, Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday had a meeting to review the situation, a developing situation at LAC, and this meeting was attended by NSA Ajit Doval, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, and Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar. Now, this team was also handling India's response during the Doklam standoff. So, do we believe that India is preparing for another Doklam-like situation?
No, if a Doklam-like situation emerges, India will obviously be prepared for it. They will have to prepare for it. In fact, India was very much prepared as far as Doklam issue is also concerned. And this is not the first time. Before Doklam also, such standoffs, as we call it, have happened. After Doklam also, there were certain smaller incidents, minor incidents of PLA, People's Liberation Army, that is what the Chinese army is called. They marched into some of the Indian territory, but they went back also. And as far as the border post is concerned, these are activities that take place on a day-to-day basis. But there is a there is strong mechanism between India and China wherein at DGMO level and at operational level, at the theater level, there are Chinese representatives of the Chinese army and the representatives of the Indian army. They talk to each other and resolve the problem locally. Doklam was one problem that was not able to be resolved locally, and therefore it escalated to that extent. But I don't think the present crisis will escalate to that extent.
Okay. So, but the aggression from China side at LAC, do you think it is a result of a fact that India supported 62 other nations moving a resolution that called for independent investigation into the origins of coronavirus, now threatening India to be careful while allying with the Western countries? That is what China is doing. Do you think this is the reason?
I don't think this is the reason or this is one of the reason, because this news of that India would support such an inquiry was not new. A. Again, China itself at a much later stage accepted responsibility, and they even welcomed this whole idea of an investigation into the pandemic. But their stand is that they are not responsible for creation of the pandemic, they are not responsible for the virus, and they are also not responsible for spreading the virus all over. They think and they claim that they are also as much a victim of the virus as much as the rest of the world is. And that is one position that India has accepted unless we are able to arrive at a conclusive proof that the spread of virus was not an accident but a calculated act by Chinese laboratory.
So, but there
So
is
I think
another.
that is not the reason.
So there is another set of belief that says because India has started ramping up the infrastructure along the Daulat Beg Oldie Road, which is just a few kilometers away from the Karakoram Pass. So the Chinese army is kind of alarmed because of that. So is this the aggression result of that also?
See, once again, we should remember that this road was not constructed in 48 hours. The construction of the road has been going on for the last 18 years. And the Karakoram highway was constructed sometime in the 1970s when India again protested also. And after that, we had a policy of not actually building border roads because there was a suggestion that by building border roads, we will be facilitating the movement of PLA into Indian territory. But then, after Narendra Modi government came into power in 2014, this entire policy of border road changed. So India actually hastened the process of construction of border roads. So very important border roads connecting the mainland to the border areas were fulfilled and constructed. So it is not that this road has been constructed in overnight, that China came to know about it only day before yesterday. So otherwise, this theory also doesn't really fit into it.
Okay. But sir, on the other side, if we see just at a time when standoff between India and China took place, India is another neighboring country, which India is said to have a roti-beti relations, slammed India and objected over Lipule, Kalapani and Limpiadhura included in Indian map. Not only that, they also released a new map showing these territories as their own. Now, Army Chief post this situation had made a statement saying that Nepal has done it at someone else's behest. He didn't specifically mention any other nation, but it was very clear that he was hinting at China. So do you agree with his statement?
No, Army Chief statement is a very calibrated statement and he has not mentioned China by name. But the reference to China is very obvious. And China has been making inroads into Nepal for a long time. And it is very evident, and there is enough proof also, that the Chinese ambassador to Nepal, she has been meeting the Communist Party workers and the Communist Party leaders. Not only that, in fact, before the first meeting of the Communist Party of Nepal took place in May this month, this first week of May, she had already finished a series of meetings with Communist Party, because the Communist Party of Nepal is a coalition of more than 14 to 15 parties, and they are at loggerheads with each other. And at this stage, China does not want this communist government to fall. Therefore, China is deeply interested in the Communist Party's activities and propping up this government for a longer time. Therefore, it would be very naive to say that Chinese political involvement in Nepal is zero. It's wrong.
Well, just as we started this interview, there is another new development in this entire issue. US President Donald Trump has said that he wouldn't mind mediating between India and China during this standoff. He also made a similar, suggestion during Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan. So, how should India respond to this issue?
I don't think India should respond. Obviously, there is no question of asking President Trump to mediate, because President Trump has an axe to grind. All the anti-China coalition that is happening in the world is being seen as some sort of a strategic move by President Trump himself, because it suits him the most. President Trump's election is going to happen in November, and he will need an enemy to win the election, and he would probably like to create and place China as the foremost enemy of American interest. And the entire episode of coronavirus pandemic comes to his rescue. Therefore, he initially started blaming China for spreading Wuhan virus. He even called it China virus. From there, he has gone to this extent of suggesting that he is prepared to mediate between India and China. There is absolutely no question of a third party mediation. India and China have got a conflict resolution methodology very well in place that was worked out almost 25 years back. And during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's regime, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, India and China entered into a further amended and a better conflict resolution architecture. And in fact, for the last 25-30 years, China and India have had a number of minor skirmishes along the border, but both countries have not fought a war and not a single bullet has been fired across the border. So I don't think we require any mediation as far as India-China conflict is concerned.
Now, another set of statement has come from Chinese ambassador to India. He said that dragon and elephant can dance together. What do you infer from this statement?
I think this has been the Indian position also for a long time. You may remember it was Dr. Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister of UPA government when he first said that there is enough space in the world for both India and China to grow. Therefore, the relationship between India and China runs parallelly on three lines. One is, of course, conflict, one is competition, and one is cooperation. So it is for both countries, Beijing and New Delhi, to assess the situation, reduce the conflict level, increase the cooperation, so that we are able to have a positive competition as far as the region and the rest of the world is concerned.
So you think this won't escalate further and the situation will be cooled off?
I think both China and India are highly responsible countries and they know the strength and weakness of one another. So it is not in the interest of either China or New Delhi to escalate this kind of matters, especially at a time when both are facing extremely vulnerable situation because of coronavirus and COVID-19.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your information. Well, let's hope that the Indian government comes up with more clarity on this issue, and let's hope that this issue will de-escalate as soon as possible. Thank you, sir.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.